and welcome to another episode of Webinar Wednesday. Today we're going to be talking to a 3PL that's based in Florida, and if you are looking for a 3PL to fulfill all of your Amazon orders or Shopify, eBay, like a multi-channel fulfillment, this is the 3PL that you really want to know. Okay, so Margaret, Kevin, how are you doing today?
We're quite well. Getting there. I've got fuzz in my screen and it's annoying. And it's cold here. As you can see, I've got my polo jumper on, so it's not very warm.
Busy as always, Magla.
So, yes, absolutely.
Looking
for lots of suppliers, huh, Kevin?
Yeah. Looking forward to today's topic, though.
Absolutely. Before we get our guest on, we just want to remind everyone that we've got a couple of workshops coming up. So first of all, we've got the Mindset Workshop coming up. Next Friday in the US, August 13th and August 14th in Asia, Australia. And this is hosted by Cameron Allen. It's a one-day workshop, and you can get more information at this link over here. But basically, it's a workshop where Cameron will show you ways in which you can if you're getting stuck in your business, if there are mental blocks, how you can get rid of those mental blocks. And it's a very powerful workshop. It's just one day, couple of hours, but he gives you a lot of actionable things that you can do to be able to overcome your inhibitions and basically just get unstuck in your business if you are kind of getting stuck. Because a lot of times what holds us back is our own thinking, right, Kevin? What do you think?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. People, we seem to get stuck, don't we? And we're looking for answers, and we can knock our head against a brick wall, just trying to find the answers. And I think to go into something where you can find some of the answers to help you sort of unlock the doors. On your journey, and I think that's what Cameron's sort of workshop does.
Totally, very powerful. I found it very, very eye-opening for myself.
Yeah,
it was pretty good.
It makes you stop and think. Actually, I think
exactly.
You don't go in that way. You just sort of keep having problems and trying to put a Band-Aid on it.
Yeah. I think one of the things that you said, Marg, after that was that you were able to clear your to-do list, because sometimes that's what he also said, that sometimes we just keep putting off things that we don't like to do, but there's a way to do.
It's changed me. I don't have as many bad things on my to-do list anymore. I try and knock them over now.
Cool. Okay, and then after Mindset Workshop, we've got our mega India sourcing workshop coming up. And oh my God, have we got content for you guys? Oh my God, we've got too much content.
I was working on it yesterday and I'm going, oh my God, we'll need a month to do this. We won't be able to do this in a day. There's lots of content. You won't go short on information, people.
Going to be absolutely huge, folks. Absolutely
huge. Yeah. And initially we were planning to do 2 days for this workshop, but because we've got so much content, I think we'll have to go for 3 days, Mark. And
looks like it.
Yeah, looks like it. And this is just the content between you and I. We still have, Samiksha and RSJ and all of those people. So yes, this is going to be absolutely amazing. There's nothing like this out there. So if you are looking to source from India, definitely sign up for this workshop. We are just putting everything we know out there into this workshop. It's my 20 years of experience basically coming over here to you guys.
It's A to Z and then back to Z.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Twice.
So, check out this workshop at the link on your screen. Okay, let's just say hi to a couple of people and then we're going to invite John on stage. So, Trish,
morning,
good
Trish.
morning. Oh, Chris Thomas is here.
Yeah,
hi, Chris. How's it going? Morning, guys, from
Facebook
Sydney.
From Sydney.
That's a
Mano
surprise.
is here. Mano, bright and early for you.
No, he's doing the post office, is he? Is that? Oh no, it's the other Mano.
No, that's Mano.
No,
That's the other one.
We've got Mano and
one.
Mano.
We've got Mano and Mano.
Yeah, two similar names. Yeah.
Okay, let's get John on screen now. Hello, John. Good evening.
Hello, everybody. How you doing?
We're doing
well.
How are you?
Thank
G'day
you for
from
staying up
Australia,
late.
John.
Well, hello from Florida. Good evening. Good summer evening.
Yeah, we're hanging out for summer. We're just hanging out for summer. We miss summer.
Cool. So, Mark, this is all yours because you have been coordinating with John and you guys have been working out all of the specifics of this super exciting package that John has put together for the community. So, go ahead, Mark.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, well, look, I think John did speak about his actual business, of his ecom business for us a few months ago, but look, I'll get John to briefly go over that. But the main reason we've got him here is I've been looking at the services John's offering and the rates he's offering, and I believe it's going to be a win-win for a lot of people in our group. We'll go over it at the end again once John's gone through everything, but I believe don't get excited if you're a really small seller. This probably will not be beneficial for you because of the rates to get into Jacksonville or Savannah. But at the moment, for anybody doing medium sort of shipments, it's going to be a real win-win for you. So I'll just hand over to John and let him go through all his slides, and we'll talk about it as we go through.
Well, thank you very much, Margaret, and thank you, Megla and Kevin. Really a pleasure to have the opportunity to speak to the group tonight. We'll try to keep this moving, and there'll be some an opportunity for questions and answers towards the end of the presentation. I had the opportunity to speak to the group a little bit, probably about 5-6 weeks ago, and the top was more around sourcing, moving from China to India. We have our Suresource manufacturing, where we have on the ground team to manage factories and help with the whole sourcing process. We also, our main business is UFM underwear for men. That's our patented men's underwear for sports, medical, work, and everyday. And that's been our flagship brand since the beginning for about 9 years now. It's actually patented in the United States and Europe and Australia, New Zealand, and China, and Korea, and Japan, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But tonight we're here to talk about FBMFulfillment.com. And hopefully, as I go through the presentation, you kind of understand how all three of these entities kind of fit together for both UFM's benefit, but especially for the customers that we work with. So I'll go ahead and basically tonight we're going to talk about three different areas. Kind of the introduction in FBM Fulfillment. We'll talk about multi-channel for those of you who are not doing multi-channel. As you're going to soon find out, I'm a huge advocate for doing multi-channel. And then we're just going to talk about the whole logistics issue with the Southeast United States. And you can see the little dot right here. This is where I'm located, right kind of at the very northern border between Florida and Georgia. And FBMFulfillment.com is our 3PL company. We're based in Jacksonville, Florida. It was initially created to support the underwear business. We had some really rough experiences with the 3PLs that we had worked with, and we said, well, we can do this better. So we created FBM Fulfillment. My background is actually materials management, supply chain. I'm APIC certified, and but I was really in the underwear business and kind of surprised I'm back in the material handling or the logistics business again. But we're really proud of what we put together, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go through. We've got a very advanced technical system that really supports multi-channel. It's been a huge success, and because we've had success for the underwear business, a couple years ago we expanded that to third parties. And this little thing right here might not mean a lot to the people outside the United States, but this is the Better Business Bureau. This is our consumer protection agency in the United States. It's not. It's private. It's not governmental, but we're A+ certified, which pretty much means that we have, top-notch customer satisfaction. What can we do for you? Well, our business is really e-commerce fulfillment designed from a seller's perspective. And if you've really dealt with very many 3PLs, you're going to realize that the majority of them are really designed from a warehousing perspective or a material handling perspective. Well, we took the opposite approach. we said, what do you need from a e-commerce fulfillment perspective? And we created the business from the ground up. And that's really kind of shown through. And we hear that over and over again from all of our customers. Seamless integration. Our job is to make your job easy. Matter of fact, our job is to make your job almost no job at all. We focus on reliability and flexibility. We have a perfect on-time record. We never ship late. We have 100% customer retention rate, which we're very proud of it. Matter of fact, what I'm saying there is we've never lost a customer. We bring on customers and we keep customers and we delight customers. We fulfill orders for B2C 6 days a week. Orders we receive by 2 p.m. our time, ship the same day, all the time, 100%. Our contract shipping rates are billed at cost. And for this group, which I'm a member of, I'm a member of the India Sourcing Group on Facebook. We waive startup fees for all the members, which is a big advantage. And our philosophy is because of our 100% retention rate, we're willing to invest in you because we expect this to be a long-term relationship. We offer 4 programs. One of our programs is third-party B2C fulfillment. That's business to consumer and multi-channel e-commerce. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a few slides. But that could be website, Amazon, Walmart, eBay, Etsy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We also do Amazon FBA storage and staging and drip feeding to deal with the multitude of Amazon inventory limitation issues that has really kind of been the bane of a lot of us Amazon sellers. I didn't really say this earlier, but we've been selling on Amazon since the beginning for 9 years. And we sell on Amazon UK, we sell on Amazon US, we're getting ready to sell on Amazon Canada. So we understand Amazon extremely well. We also offer return services. Being in the underwear business, this is pretty important. You don't want to be sending your customer used underwear. Return services through Amazon is a pretty dicey operation, as you can probably experienced. And we just really don't trust the FBA system to make sure that used product doesn't get to customers. And then we also do prep and rework. Probably the most significant is removal orders. Don't know how many in this audience has ever gone through the experience of doing a removal order from Amazon, but they can be kind of ugly. Amazon kind of dumps everything in the box and sends it to you, and it's all discombobulated, and a lot of times the packaging is screwed up or whatever. And it's our job to take that in and work with the customer to make that into saleable inventory again. The third-party fulfillment model. Don't know if everybody on this call really has experience with third-party fulfillment as it relates to B2C. Clearly, you're putting product, you're doing your FBA inventory in warehouses to send it to Amazon. But let's just take a second to talk about the scenario where you got your own store and you're going to take that inventory from our location and actually fill your customers' orders. So number one, you send your inventory. Your inventory is in our warehouse and we sync automatically with your store. Your customer places an order to your store. That order gets downloaded to us. We send it to your customer, and we automatically send the tracking back to you. All seamless, all automatic. Again, very, very easy. We really are a proponent of multi-channel. We do integration with Shopify, Magento, WooCommerce, BigCommerce, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We do Amazon FBM, SFP. We do Walmart, eBay, Etsy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, and not only do we do this for other people, but we do this for ourselves as well. So that's how we understand it from a customer's perspective. Now, this is where the power comes in. When you can set yourself up to be multi-store. So just use our company as an example, but this could be any of your companies. You could be on Amazon, you could be on eBay, we're on Shopify, we're on Magento, we're on Walmart, you could be on Etsy or anything else. And you're operating from a single inventory, from a single warehouse, and keeps things simple. These orders come in, the orders go to the customer, the information flows back to your individual stores. So you've really diversified your whole business model. You're not just depending on Mr. Bezos. Other things we can do, as I said earlier, we have a very advanced technology, and we have a lot of things that you might not even thought about. We recommend our customers do what we call an FBA-FBM hybrid. What that means is, you're doing your business FBA, but you create shadow items for FBM. So if you ever were to stock out, the FBM picks up where the FBA left off, and we can fulfill your orders FBM while you're waiting to get replenished in your FBA if you ever were to find yourself out of stock. And we all know that Amazon's have a lot of issues with its incoming, and things can sit in on the dock or wherever they sit when you ship it to them, but it doesn't get checked in for weeks on end. The FBM kind of protects you. We have a technology where we can take an item in there and we can carry that same item at the case level and at the each level, and it works automatically. So when you look at your inventory, you can have your inventory in there as cases, but it explodes it into eaches, and we can fulfill in eaches. So that's what we call the each versus case, or the FBA FBM hybrid. We also offer alternative SKUs. Let's say that you have one set of SKUs at Amazon and a different set of SKUs at Shopify and a different set of SKUs at eBay. We can handle that. We can put in alternative SKUs. You don't have to go in and try to change your SKUs in Amazon or whatever other platform you're in. We can operate with multiple SKUs. We can do the same thing with codes. And when I say codes, I'm typically talking about FN SKUs or UPCs or GTINs or whatever you want to call it. We offer virtual bundles. What that means is your bundles don't have to be physical. So we can go in and create like a bill of material, and you can sell a bundle. And then what happens when you sell that bundle, the order comes in, then our system automatically explodes that into the individual components, and we can go in and pick the individual components and create those bundles on the fly. And last but not least is substitute products. Let's assume that you have a product and then you decided you enhance the product. So you go from, like I say, a generation 1 to a generation 2 to a generation 3 product, but you still have some generation 1 in stock. Well, we can basically create a substitute product situation, so it will go and it will flow from generation 1 to generation 2 to generation 3, and we can put whatever type of rules in place that you deem necessary, so that you never actually stock out and you can flow automatically from one to the other. Shipping options. The cheapest shipping in the United States, no matter who you're dealing with as a 3PL, is USPS First Class. And that's the United States Postal Service. That's our governmental mail system. And the good news, it's very economical. Typically, it can be like $3 to $5. The bad news is it tops out at 16 ounces, which is 453 grams, I guess, to the metric world. The problem is if you go to 17 ounces, it's a whole new ballgame. And they do measure them, and they do back charge. The next level up is USPS Cubic Priority, which is a 2-3 day service. We also have fantastic rates with FedEx, which is a hard 2-day service. Extremely reliable, considered to be a premium solution. FedEx is what we do for Seller Fulfilled Prime, and that kind of tops out at 644 cubic inches. And then we can, if we have products that go beyond that, we can work with the individual customer and come up with a customized solution. International shipping is also something we're very proud of. We have really screaming good international shipping rates. $9.50 a pound to almost anywhere, whether that's Canada, whether that's the UK, whether that's Australia. In my business, UFM Underwear, we offer free international shipping. And we can do this because we have these very, very good international shipping rates. We ship to UK, we ship to New Zealand and Australia every day. Other thing that we did is we decided that we were going to keep it simple. The old KISS principle, I guess they call it, keep it simple, stupid. As I kind of dealt with and I deal with 3PLs actually in Europe. So I understand your perspective, and I understand how complicated and messy some of the other 3PL pricing schemes can get. We really want to keep it simple, to keep it easy for everybody to understand. So our order fulfillment is $2 an order and 50 cents a pick. We charge your carrier charges at cost. Basic packaging is included. If you have any special needs, we work with it, and we basically bring that in and charge you what it costs us. For FBA storage, $13 a pallet. Now this is important. We allow mixed pallets. In other words, you can have many SKUs on a pallet, and we're only going to charge you for one pallet. So the pallet is truly volumetric. A lot of the other 3PLs out there, if you have 10 different SKUs, at a minimum, they're going to charge you 10 for 10 pallets. And I think that you're going to find that this one item right there will make a huge difference in your warehousing expense. When we have special services, we just charge $25 a man hour. We don't charge for SKU segregation. And if we have to provide pallets or packaging, obviously that's extra. The packaging normally comes in with, like I talked about, with removal orders. Again, as you probably realize that, if you send packaging to Amazon and then you do a removal order, it doesn't come back to us with the packaging you send into Amazon. They'll just grab one of their boxes and just kind of dump it in. And, the packaging that it comes to us in a removal order, or any other 3PL, by the way, is not the packaging that you're going to be able to send it back out in. And I'm talking the master carton. I'm not talking the individual carton. So we work with you and figure out the right thing to do there and bring in the packaging and get that squared away. Okay, restricted goods. Unfortunately, we don't do flammables, we don't do explosives, we don't do hazardous materials, we don't do things that are extremely temperature sensitive. We have several candle customers, so that's not a problem. And food products are kind of on a case-by-case basis. I want to talk a little bit more about the Southeast. I think many people are used to bringing their products in the Northeast. But this kind of gives you an idea of the population of the United States, which obviously is your customers, right? And California is clearly the most populated state, but believe it or not, their population is actually in decline, if you didn't realize that. There's a mass exodus right now from California due to the cost of living there and some of their COVID policies their taxes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Matter of fact, they're actually recalling their governor in California at the moment. Texas is the second largest state in the United States, and Florida is the third largest population state in the United States. And this kind of gives you an idea how everything else falls. But if you think about it, between 1, 2, and 3, that's where a high percentage of the population of the U.S. live. And then there's a concentration a little bit up in the Northeast. And you talk about trends and growth. Well, these are the fastest growing states in the United States. You can see Texas is number 2 and Florida is number 5. We've experienced a tremendous amount of growth since the beginning of COVID. A lot of people are moving from the north to the south. Some of that's due to baby boomers, and as people get older, moving south to the sunnier, brighter climate. But a lot of that's to do with COVID restrictions, and there's been a lot more COVID discomfort up in the north. So bottom line is Texas and Florida are large population states to begin with, and we're also some of the fastest growing states. I think anybody who's been part of any type of Amazon related Facebook group knows that there's a lot of issues bringing product in from China these days. Obviously, freight costs are skyrocketing to the West Coast. A lot of backups, just trying to get the product off the ship onto drayage transport. We've all heard horror stories about West Coast Amazon fulfillment centers being backed up and taking weeks and weeks and weeks to even get the product in and available for sale, even once it gets delivered. And you take that and you compound that with the busy season that we're just on the very beginning of, there's going to be some real challenges, we all know. This is actually, this map right here is actually the marine traffic as of this afternoon. You can see all the ships out there waiting to unload at Long Beach. New York has its challenges too. It's an expensive place to do business. Real estate. New York City is lease warehouse space is $15 to $28 a square foot, versus Jacksonville, I pay $4.50 a square foot. If you were going to purchase warehouse space in New York City, it would be somewhere around $250 to $350 a square foot, if you can find it, because it doesn't even exist. It's tough to find. Longshore rates in New York City are $38 an hour versus Jacksonville's $27. Drayage runs around $600 in Jacksonville. If you bring it into the port of Jacksonville, it's $150. And we'll talk a little bit more taxes. There are some congestion delays, not to the extreme that they're seeing in California right now. I hear a lot of stories about unquoted upcharges and product losses, and obviously winter weather. This is the northern part of the United States, and they do get snow, they do get ice. They are subject to weather disruptions. Now, people are going to say, well, you're in Florida, don't you have hurricanes? Well, the good news is Jacksonville doesn't have hurricanes. And I'll talk about that in a second. So this kind of talks about the tax side. New York is the third least tax-friendly state. Florida is the fourth most tax-friendly state. And obviously, taxes translates into cost. That cost gets borne by somebody. We were talking about hurricanes for a second. Jacksonville, like I said, is right here on the intersection between Florida and Georgia. And you look how far west that is. Matter of fact, it's almost directly below Cleveland. So what happens is the jet stream comes out here about 70, 80 miles offshore, and all hurricanes just go from they'll hit Miami, but they'll just skip right over northern Florida and jump into the Carolinas. So we have natural hurricane protection. I've lived here in Florida for 20 years. We get fringy little stuff from hurricanes, but nothing serious, ever. So where is Jacksonville? And a lot of people think, wow, Florida, isn't that so remote in terms of warehousing and storage? And the answer is no. We're not in Miami, which is down here at the tip. We're right here on the edge. And our sister port is Savannah, which is a couple hours north. So what this represents here is the actual truck traffic in the United States. And as you can see, we're right on an east-west corridor, we're right on a north-south corridor, and you jump over and there's another corridor that runs right up into the middle of the United States. Interstate 10 starts in Jacksonville and runs all the way through Texas, all the way to Los Angeles. So we are not at all remote. Jacksonville is very, very centrally located in terms of the freight distribution in the United States. US Jax is our port here in town. It's 9.1 miles from our warehouse. Obviously, that's the best. Savannah is our backup, 146 miles. It's a really good alternative. Where drayage is like $150 from Jaxport, it's about $500 from Savannah, which is probably pretty typical of what you see in the Northeast. You also have the Charleston port, and from Jacksonville to New York City is 937 miles. This also kind of gives you an idea of the shipping lines that run from India, typically Mumbai, to Jacksonville and Savannah. Transit times, New York is really good at 22 days, and obviously it's a very well-traveled corridor. I don't know if the 22 days includes any kind of congestion, waiting time delays, unplanned delays, but nominal it's 22 days. Savannah runs 29 to 30 days, Jacksonville 37 days. To go from Jacksonville, they'll typically go through the Bahamas, and they'll spend a day or two in the Bahamas and then bring it right over to Jacksonville. From southern India, it's not uncommon that they'll go into Colombo. They'll actually barge from some southern India to Colombo and then put it on the freighter and go from Colombo, Sri Lanka, right over to Savannah. I just brought in a 20-foot container of underwear a few weeks ago, and that's how they did it. And that obviously goes through the canal, the Suez Canal. My intent for this presentation was to be able to give you some quotes, and I'm sorry to say that I really can't. We're in crazy times right now. The quotes are very, very volatile. When I got them, I don't really believe them. So the only thing I can really tell you is I brought in a 20-foot container via Savannah from I think it was to southern India for $5,200, and that was actual invoice. So I'm going to actually ask for your patience on that one, because we got to let some things settle down a little bit for them to be able to come up with some better comparisons. But as I mentioned, the Southeast is kind of where it's at in the United States. That's where a lot of people are moving to. We are very committed to make Jacksonville and the Southeast a very good solution for shipping products from India. And we're going to continue to work with the freight forwarders like Sierra, the India consolidators, and freight lines. And we are actually very close to the Jacksport and Savannah Port organizations and teams. And we've actually put together a task force to try to improve the shipping lanes, the shipping options, the shipping times, and the costs to make bringing product into the Southeast as competitive as possible. So this is kind of my wind-up slide here. My email is sales@fbmfulfillment.com, and that's our phone number. Facebook page, it's our underwear Facebook page. We like to communicate with our customers via Skype. So that's my Skype ID, and that's our fulfillment page and my LinkedIn page. And that's
a lot for those. Yeah, that was a lot of great information, John. And you've sold us on Florida.
Yeah, we want to move there.
Totally.
Going back to Florida, can I just be the travel agent for a second?
Yes, absolutely.
Disney World, Cape Canaveral, Miami, Jacksonville up here. So yeah, Florida is a very tourism is a very big part of Florida. And that's actually what kind of keeps our taxes low.
Right. So guys, if you have any questions for John, type them in the comments now. And John, I'm just going to remove your slides for now. We'll show your email address to people later. There's one question from Raj. He's asking, is $13 per pallet per week or per month?
Oh, that's per month.
Per month.
Per month.
Cool. Mark, did you have any?
Yes, look, I think I've got a few things that I want to talk about with everyone and John, but just one thing, John, do you want to tell people how many Amazon warehouses are near you? Because there's quite a few, isn't there?
Oh yeah, in Jacksonville proper.
Well, yeah, around the area where
there are three major Jacksonville warehouses three major Amazon warehouses in Jacksonville.
Yeah, so that's quite good. Yeah, and there's a few just not far, isn't there? A couple of hours away.
That is correct. We're about 5 hours from Atlanta.
Yes.
We're And again, I really don't really have a good answer for you on that one, Margaret. I just know about the ones that are here locally.
Yeah, and most of the time, if people don't understand this, if you are shipping out of usually a 3PL, you'll tend to get, unless you've got oversized products, a warehouse within probably an hour of there. Most of the time, I find, and most people I know get that. Occasionally they might have congestion in those warehouses, but and I think the other bonus is if you're going in down where John is, it's not going to be as busy. I mean, if you're going into California, there's probably, you know, so much sort of goods coming in, whereas it's not going to be as busy. So you should have a lot more chance of getting into those warehouses. So
Absolutely.
that'll be, you know, an issue. So now we've sort of been working with Shemishka, people behind the scenes, trying to work out, you know, the best way of all this sort of working. Now, shipping to John's, I know John's still working on this as well, but it looks like to me, for me, it would be Shemishka's advice was to go into Savannah and just truck down, which is only, you know, what, 2 hours or something by truck?
That is correct. And actually, that's the way I brought in my last shipment as well.
Yeah. So I think, you know, you wouldn't go into New York and then decide to truck it down. It would cost you a fortune.
Right.
That wouldn't be an option. So if you decide you want to use John, you need to either speak to Shemishka or whoever you're going to use for your freight forwarder, and either ask for Jacksonville or Savannah. And look, the time frame suits me better, having a week less time, and you're not getting unloaded somewhere where you can get left on the port. So to me, I think that might be the way, but it'll just be Shemishka will do those quotes, and she's still working with shipping lines because we've just sort of been working on this to try and get the best prices we can get for everyone moving forward on this. So I think that's you know, a real.
If I can add one thing,
yeah,
a lot of the ships that port in New York come on down the East Coast anyways.
Yeah.
So what it really means is instead of offloading in New York, you just stay on the ship and you go to you come on down to Savannah.
Yeah, so that's good. Yeah. Now you offer the FBA service. Do you want to just
Can we just take this question first, Mark?
Yeah.
So, are you sending all your containers to Jacksonville or some to Savannah?
Well, actually, that's what we just talked about. We send. You can go either way. Short term, I would send them to Savannah. We are working to make it more practical to send it to Jacksonville, and that will be optimum. But in the short term, even my last 20-foot container that I brought in, you know, like, what was it, 6 weeks ago? That came in via Savannah.
Right. And then trucking quotes I received from Savannah to Florida are about $2,000.
That's not accurate. It's more like $500. And again, I can even share an invoice with you on that one.
Okay, we're still working on that. And
if you're getting those kind of numbers, there's something wrong. It's about $500.
Okay, so Facebook user, whoever you are.
Oh, let me just say one other thing. We also live unload.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, that's a question.
We also live unload.
Oh, yes, that's.
So we get an appointment. We know when the truck's coming in. We have our crew ready to go, and we can almost always have the truck unloaded within a couple hours of the truck's arrival. Where it gets a little bit dicey is like if it was something extremely heavy, like if it was floor tile or something, that is super heavy. But 90% of the time, we can have the whole truck in and out in a couple hours.
Okay, John, while we're on that subject, then do you want to touch on people and say how much you charge to unload a container?
That's just the $25 an hour. Like I said, we keep it simple. If I've got 2 men unloading for 2 hours, that would be 4 hours times $25, be $100.
So yeah, there you go, people. $100 to unload a container. I've seen prices of $500 and $800 for 20 and 40-foot containers from many 3PLs that I've been doing a lot of research on all these rates. So I think that for a lot of people is a win-win to start with. So that's one thing that I'm just going to say, that this isn't for everyone. Those people who have very small shipments, like if you're only shipping 1 or 2 cubic meters, you'll probably find it's still more economical to go into New York at the moment, because the charges are a lot cheaper. You do save. I've done exercises against my last couple of shipments, and I've had Shemeshka getting me quotes to go to Jacksonville, and we've been trying to compare everything. And it works if you've got around the 10 cubic meters, it's going to be a win-win. But look, it depends on how long your goods are going to be stored in the 3PL, because bearing in mind, John's monthly storage fee is about half or more. Some of the 3PLs are talking, $35, $40 a month storage now. So if you take those costs into account, you've got to think, my goods going to be sitting there. Some of them are for 3 months, 6 months, 1 month. If you're in and out in a month, you've got to do your own due diligence on this. So you really need to sit down, get your quotes, and then work out how long you think your goods are going to be in the 3PL. So take all that into account. We're not saying, don't everyone run out and think, oh, this is a real win. If you've only a very small shipment coming through, it's probably not going to be cost effective initially, because of the, but it depends. Once again, we are going to be doing a Shopify course in the next month or so. And all those people who do a Shopify course will love John's service, because he can look after all their Shopify as well. So there's going to be things that people have got to weigh up on this, and depending. But if you're going to be doing Shopify and Amazon, you're probably going to need more than, a very small shipment anyway. But I think it's people that are new, that are starting out. Just be careful, and I think you're probably best still going to New York and using the 3PL in New York, because that is still going to work out a lot more cost effective. But you need to do your numbers. It's the only way to check it, because it depends on the size of your product, the size of your cartons, and all those things come into play. So it's not, nobody can sort of give you a yes or no answer, but it's sort of go back to Shemeshka, tell her the size, and she'll sort of know straight away that if you've only got a couple of cubic meters, it's not going to be viable for you at the moment, because of the difference in the cost and the shipping time and everything else. So I think that's something that people need to really, go and look at, because you don't want to be, oh, great mate, I'll do 500 days more all day long.
So this is Ash Sood,
All right.
John, and he's going to reach out to you, I guess. And Trish North is saying, hi, John, you received my stock this week and sending to Amazon today. Love your service. Thanks.
Thank you, Trish.
Yeah, and that's another thing, like if you, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go on, John.
How high do you stack pallets at the warehouse?
Well, we don't stack pallets on top of pallets. We only stick 1 pallet per shelf. We have pallet racking. And the pallet racking is about 5-foot spacing. So we just put, and be honest, we don't actually store your product on a pallet. We actually de-pallet and stack it on the shelf in the case.
Oh, he's saying, sorry, not pallets, cartons on a pallet.
Pardon me?
He's saying, sorry, not pallets, but cartons on a pallet. He's asking about how do you stack cartons on a pallet? How high do you stack cartons on a pallet?
I think what they're asking about is, when I say $13 a pallet, what does that mean?
How big's a pallet?
Yeah, how big's a pallet? And what that is it's the cubic space of a 40 by 48 times, was it 60 inches?
Yeah, so
sorry,
that's
we're still stuck in the imperial world here in the United States.
So I think so it's quite a sizable pallet actually. That's a pallet that usually Amazon, if you put your goods into Amazon, that's usually about the size they give you. I think they go up to 70 inches, don't they? Amazon, but
do
we receive goods from China? Yeah, it doesn't matter to us where it comes from.
Is it worth if it's oversized 40-foot container?
Oh, 40 foot's no problem.
No, or does he mean oversized as in oversized goods? Is that what you're asking?
Does he mean an HC or does he mean?
Chris,
just clarify
what you mean
by
oversized.
Chris.
Well, Chris, why don't you just give me a call and we'll talk about it. We'll see if we can figure out a way to make it work.
Oversized products.
Again, that's kind of a fairly broad question. you know, I mean, we're doing blankets right now, which is a pretty good sized product. Again, it really kind of depends. You know, I'm not really looking to start storing fishing boats or canoes, but you know,
furniture.
Within reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what Chris might be meaning is where would the three, you know, how you'll get three different warehouses, how far it's going to be, you know, is he going to get California as one of his third warehouses, or is he going to get local? But there's lots and lots of warehouses stemming out from you, isn't there, like Texas and all that, which you probably get if you do your
talking about Amazon warehouses?
Yeah, three. Well, yeah, because once you've got oversized, it's got to go to three separate warehouses. They won't give you one warehouse. So well, I think what Chris is saying is like, is it viable? Because where am I going to get sent? And I mean, that depends on the product as well and the Amazon need for where the product is. We do one oversized, and I don't always get the same warehouses out of New York. I get all different warehouses, obviously, depending where they want to put them.
Well, Chris, let's just have a phone call and we'll explore it and see what makes sense.
Yeah. Well, Chris, this is John's email address, but you can also just message him on Facebook.
Facebook or Skype, you know, either we can do either.
Okay.
I should be super easy to reach on Facebook within the group.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, just to make it clear for people, also, do you want to explain when you're doing like FBA and you're putting, say, 30 cartons out of your center into Amazon, how do you charge for that? Can you? I know the answer, but do you want to explain it to everyone?
Yeah, well, it's just by the hour. So you know, whatever it takes us, and I've never had a customer complain that he thought that he or she thought that we overcharged them.
Yeah. So
it just doesn't happen. We keep again. We treat you like we'd want to be treated. That's what it kind of comes down to. I see we got Jeff Price here. He's actually from the Jacksonville port.
All right.
And he's part of the team that we talked about, and we're working hard to try to make Jacksonville even more attractive to bring in product from India for Amazon.
Excellent. Hi, Jeff. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Jeff.
Hi, Jeff.
We want to get to know you better.
But Mark, can you maybe just talk a little bit about how other 3PLs charge? You know, whereas John charges by hour, there are other 3PLs that charge by carton, by pallet, and that overall just adds up, right?
It costs. Look, he's the only 3PL I've found that actually charges this way. We've done California, we've done New York, and look, just most of them are, and it varies. I've seen some high rates, but most of them are around to put a carton into the 3PL. So if you put 1,000 cartons in, it's, I think, $1.50 to put it in, and when you take it out, it's $2. So you know, just think if you take out 1,000 cartons at $2, that's $2,000. How long would it take you to at $25 an hour to do 1,000 cartons, John? You do it in a day, would you not?
How does that? Yeah. How does that make any sense? It costs $2 to pick up one carton and put it on a pallet.
Yes.
Wow.
And that's cheap. I'm not kidding. I have got some.
That's ridiculous.
Different rates from mainly California, and they're charging more than that. Some people are paying. Like a product in and out, a carton in and out is $4.50.
Yeah.
I actually even had my supplier make all my cartons nearly to max to save, and I've saved myself a lot of money by, instead of having smaller cartons that were lighter, we've gone to like 24 inches by 24 inches because that saved me.
And reconfigured, and so we get more in a box. You know,
more in a box.
Margaret, I guess I'd like to try to say that, you know, I covered this in my presentation. But you know, the reason we can do this is our cost base is a lot less.
Yeah.
We're not paying you know, real estate rates of at the New York rate. You know, we're not paying the labor rates of the New York rate. We're not paying the tax rates of the New York rate. So we pass those along to our customers.
Yeah. No, that all makes perfect sense.
Yeah. No, I think people are just, it's really hard to try and explain this to people. So, you know, to be bringing in, you know, even 200 cartons at a time, if it's costing you $4.50, that's, you know, near on $1,000. John's probably be able to get, you know, 200 cartons in and out in under a day, $200 probably or less.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So I think it's a win-win for that, but just don't take that win-win. I won't stress enough. Go back and look at how much more it's going to cost you for the shipping component, because there is a difference. It was on, I'll just give you an idea of one I costed of mine. I had a 17.4 cubic meter shipment, and it was $2,000. This was a shipping rate a couple of months ago, so I don't think it's going to be that today. And it was going to be an extra $500 for the shipping component only to go into Jacksonville. So you've got to take that into account as well. So it's a double exercise. So you need to get out your calculator and do, a little bit of work on this, because you might find that some people it's not going to work for. But you've got to look, do you want to have that benefit of FBM? Now, that's another thing that John has waived for us, and I thank him dearly for this. All the costs of setting up to do any of the multi-fulfillment channels. Now, most places I know all around America are charging $400 or $500 to set that up, and around $100 plus a month for the service. John's charging us nothing. So, you've got to weigh up all these things. So I think it's sit down, have a think about what you want to do, what your business is. But if you're just going to be doing very small, so one product into Amazon, and you're only going to be doing, 500 items or something, a shipment, or 1,000 even, and it's a smaller item, it's still not going to be probably viable. You'll have to really get both rates and do your exercise, I think.
To your point, Margaret, we're really looking for long-term customer relationships and long-term partnerships. And we've talked a lot about different parts of it in this presentation, but we're just scratching the surface. We kind of see ourselves as a concierge warehouse. We kind of work with you, and we want to see you grow, because you grow, we grow.
Yeah, and I think the other benefit is John actually sells on Amazon. He does FBM, he does Shopify. He knows how it all works. He's trying to put goods. I know he's having awful trouble getting a cost-effective third-party warehouse in the UK and Europe. So, it's costing him a fortune. He's most upset. He understands the problems we've got.
Making me drink.
Well, the other thing, guys, 3PLs are going to, not so long ago, we didn't really sort of need a 3PL as much as we need a 3PL now, because, a lot of our products, I know it seems like a lifetime ago, but, we used to be able to send a lot of product, straight into Amazon, which is, doesn't really sort of happen that much anymore.
As I used to be able to.
And so to drip feed, and like you say, John, that long-term, relationship, this is what this is all about. And, it's not going to stop soon, is it? The system or the process that we have in place, it's not going to end. It's not going to end for Amazon. It's not going to end for us. And this looks like it's going to be there, here for the sort of long term. So, and I mean, each year ourselves, we buy more and more products. We've got bigger and bigger shipments, and each and every time that we sort of order a new from like last year, mate. It's a lot more, isn't it?
Look, I'm dreading. I've got another fairly big shipment due in about a month, and I know every time I talk to Shamisha, it's gone up another $500 or something, and I'm going, oh my God, I dread getting the shipping, final quote once we're organised. But something I will touch on here, that people who are watching, who are actually sourcing from China and thinking about India. Now, these aren't exactly up to the minute, but a container at the moment from India to New York was, last time about a month ago now, was $5,900 for a 20 foot and $7,100 for a 40 foot. And I can't remember exactly, but Jacksonville was about $8,000 and about $6,900 or something. So it was about $1,000 more for a container at that point.
I paid $5,500. I paid $5,500 to arrive 5 weeks ago.
Yeah, so it's going up very quickly, but compared to the stories we're hearing out of China that people are paying $20,000, $25,000, and those new surcharges of $5,000, I hate to think what the containers are going to be like there in the end of the month. So
we covered this in our previous But I used to source everything out of China.
Yeah.
And I moved to India a little over 3 years ago, and I guess it was a real blessing. Guess we made the right call.
Yeah, definitely. And to John, another thing I know that you've actually taken on some more warehouse space ready for us, so you're not going to be knocking people away at the start. I mean, if people don't get in quick, they might, but you did take on another warehouse as well.
Yeah, we're going to add capacity as necessary. That will not be an issue.
So
Yeah.
what is your general setup fee that you charge, other clients of yours that you're waiving for our group? What is the setup fee in general?
Well, typically it's a couple $100, but I will also tell you that the majority of the customers that we've been getting have been through the India sourcing. So, that's kind of been our priority. That's been our focus. That's our specialty. We source ourselves in India. We ship from India ourselves. So a lot of my team are from India. Either whether they live in the United States now or not. Several of my customers are Indian born, even though they're U.S. citizens. So the whole India thing has been a very positive niche for us. Whether it's working with factories in India, whether it's working through technology people in India, whether it's working through Americans of Indian descent, whether it's Indian people that live in all different corners of the world. So again, we don't do a lot of charging for setup just because most of the people are coming through this venue.
I think it's because there's a lot of them, John. Right, Megla. Spread out all over the world.
Say that again.
And just another thing, if you're doing air shipments, John's will be fine, whether you're large or small, because the air shipments go into usually one of the nearest, airports anyway. So it's not like shipping where it's a lot more expensive to go from one port to the other. Usually when you ask Shumeshka for an air shipment, she'll say, where do you want to go? And they will fly it into, and I'm not sure, John, what would be your nearest major airport?
Jacksonville Airport.
Jacksonville. There you go. So,
I mean, we got a pretty decent sized airport.
So yeah,
we're a few hours from Atlanta, which is one of the largest airports in the world.
Yeah, so that's another option.
We're a couple hours from Orlando, the home of Mickey Mouse, and that's a huge airport. So,
right. How does fulfillment for Walmart work, and how is it different from Amazon fulfillment?
Scale for sure,
Okay.
maturity for sure. We've only been out of Walmart now for about 4 months, but in terms of the business process, it's identical. I mean, you set up your listings, customers buying them, the orders flow in, the orders get filled, the orders, get transmitted back, and again, the business process is identical. It's just I don't think customers are getting the volume through Walmart. Our products are a premium product, so if the Walmart products tend to be a little bit more price sensitive, I think. But there's also less competition on Walmart.
Cool.
And getting qualified from Walmart can be a little bit tricky, and we kind of help our people through that as well.
Oh, good.
Okay.
And we're actually right now considering going on to Walmart Canada, which is the new hot thing.
Okay.
Was
And
it?
Can you help people outside of the U.S. as well?
I believe so, but there are some requirements to be able to go on Walmart, and I don't want to misstate anything on this call. People are certainly welcome to give me a call, and we'll kind of try to figure it out together.
Yeah.
Because I'll also tell you that some of our customers use our address as their address.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So Mark, I might drop
So
off.
we can be we can be your mail stop as well.
So Mark, I might drop off because it's the top of the hour and we've got a
All right. You just don't know what's
scheduled
going to
power
happen.
outage here. So in
You
case
might
I
be
drop
able to
off,
just
and you
say-
can ends the broadcast.
Keep going. Okay, no
Yeah.
worries.
But any more questions from anyone watching, let us know. We'll start wrapping up here as well.
Yeah, I can just see someone's posted 32K for a container from China. Wow.
Yeah.
How can you make any money at that rate?
Including that
Including
new
the new
surcharge.
surcharge. Wow, that is crazy. So
just quickly, one of the scenarios we spoke about last year, John, myself and Margaret, was we were thinking of like buying more product, right? But the scenario was it would cost us a lot of money having it stuck in a 3PL in various whether it be on the West Coast or the East Coast. And we said no. So my point in that was it was just too costly to do that. But with your model, we could have sort of got bigger shipments and could afford to leave it in the warehouse. You know what I mean? If whether it comes to the point where Amazon is going to get backed up again, or the sea shipping is going to get backed up again, we would have enough stock instead of running on bare minimum stock, which a lot of us found ourselves running on, early last year and the year before. We were running on, the gas was nearly running empty, and we're trying like buggery to get, new stock in all the time. But to actually have more bigger shipments come in, it makes sense to sort of like your place to be able to have stock sitting around a little bit sort of longer. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yeah, and
your point is really important, because obviously you can bring your price point down when you increase your volume. But in the pandemic world we all live in there today, reliability of the supply chain is kind of really taken a hit. And stocking out, I mean, I'm involved in a lot of different Amazon groups, and everybody's talking about stocking out. Can't get my stuff from the factory. And even in India, I mean, they've gone through a few shutdowns there that have caused substantial delays. So we recommend to our customers is beef up your inventories and protect yourself. Protect your franchise, protect your brand, because you can't sell stock you don't have.
And the other thing is, especially if you're new to this and you haven't seen a shipping quote and how it works, if you ship, say, 10 cubic meters twice, that would cost you about an extra $600, because it doesn't matter how big you ship, even if it's 2 cubic meters, there are shipping fees and costs like customs duties, and it adds up to about $600 going from sort of Mumbai to New York. So no matter how much amount of actual product you're shipping, you're still going to have that $600. So you're better off doing 20 cubic meters once and saving $600, because you're not going to be paying that much extra if it's in John's for an extra couple of months, because you're only paying that $13 a pallet, and it's a fairly big pallet that he allows. When he calls it a pallet, I call it a decent sized pallet. So all those things are going to make it, I think, more cost effective. So I'm just thinking, guys, this should be a really win-win for a lot of you. And thanks for John for putting so much work into this for us to try and get it going as good as we can. And it's a bit of a trial and error, people, so you're going to have to bear with us with the pricing, and it's so volatile out there. None of us have got a crystal ball. We don't know where this is going to end cost-wise. If it was 12 months ago, we probably could give you really good, accurate costings, but at the moment, I talk to Shamishka nearly every second day, and it's gone up again, and it's going up again next week or something. So I think it's pretty hard to make a real decision because of the volatility at the moment.
But John's easy to reach out to and speak to and contact. So anybody that wants to, just reach out to John with all your questions, and I'm pretty sure he'll answer them for you very quickly.
Absolutely. And John is in our Facebook group as well. So in case anyone has a question, you can always post it in the group and tag John there as well.
Actually, we could even add John to our Facebook, to our website, so people could actually order his services through there if they want to do inquiries that way. So we'll add you in there, John, so you can.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, and then people can just post their instead of emailing you, it'll come through our email, so you'll know it's not 1,000 questions from different people. It'll be from us.
Okay, awesome. Anything else that we need to cover, Mark? Or
I think we've covered just about anything. And look, if anyone's got any further questions on this, they can ask in the group. It is such a sort of big sort of subject. And look, it's subjective to, have you got a light product? Have you got a heavy product? Is it large? Is it small? Is it oversized? How long are you going to have it in the warehouse? Are you going to go straight into Amazon? You know, all these things. So everyone's going to be different. So we can't give you a one-off answer on this at all. It's each person's products will be totally different.
Right, makes sense. All right, thank you so much, John, for your time. Lovely speaking.
Thank you, Megla. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Margaret.
Thank you, John. It's your bedtime now. What time is it over there? 11 o'clock or something? What time?
It's
10.
yeah, it's just a little after 10.
Oh, it's after 10. Oh, that's all right. Thank you for staying up for us.
No problem. Thank you, everybody. Glad to meet everybody.
And thanks for showing us Florida, John.
We'll have to put that on our holiday list as well as India now. We'll have to visit our 3PL. It'll be tax deductible, won't it? We can go and visit our 3PL.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, we'll do a 3PL sort of trip or something. Visit your 3PL trip.
I'm ready to go back to India.
Very good.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thanks
everyone
John.
for joining
Thanks,
us
John.
today.
Thanks,
and
guys.
we will see you next week for another webinar Wednesday. Bye.
Thank you.
Okay,
Bye,
bye.
guys.